Hello hatchlings, and welcome to another video. My name is Stefano the Duck, and welcome. This video, again, these talk ones aren't all too much planned out, but today I wanted to kind of talk about teaching, and I guess I'm kind of just like generalizing to more like public schools and stuff, because there are methods of teaching that are a lot better than this and stuff, but for me personally, I just wanted to talk about like my own personal experience. It doesn't really reflect upon anyone else, but I'm sure if I've had experiences like these, I'm sure someone else has had experiences with these as well. And with my particular experience when it comes to public schooling and stuff, it wasn't really the greatest, in all honesty. I remember the teachers weren't really nice to me, and yeah, I might not have been like the greatest kid, but I wasn't like the worst in the world, if that makes sense. It wasn't, if that makes sense. But I feel like I was kind of singled out almost, I guess you could say. I remember a particular experience where, and I know this has happened to other people, where there is a chart and basically they weigh you, and if you are the largest in the class, you are named and shamed pretty much for that. And I was pretty tall in my class, so obviously I'm gonna weigh a little bit more, and yeah, I was a little bit chubby in high school and whatnot, but I outgrew that. That was only temporary. But that was kind of like one of the things that like really upset me, and I was like, oh, wow. And I kind of spent my time kind of focusing on changing that and making myself, not the heaviest person in the class, which I really shouldn't have been in the first place, because like I was doing sports, I was being active, and I still wasn't losing any weight, because obviously I wasn't meant to lose it. It was just my little baby pudgy stuff. I also remember another experience where I asked if I could go to the bathroom. I really had to go, and I went to the bathroom, and a teacher walked in there and noticed that there was like toilet paper and stuff kind of all over the floor, and asked me to help them clean it up. So I cleaned it up, because I wasn't a bad kid. Like, I wasn't, I'm gonna do something if I'm asked. And so I was like back in class a little bit late, because I helped kind of clean up and tidy the bathroom a bit. I hadn't messed it up, but I just kind of helped clean it up. And I got back and I explained why I was late, and told them, the teacher, because it said, you're gonna have to use my name, so you're not in trouble for being late to class. And I told them and explained what had happened. And I still got in trouble anyway, and I was still, sent to the corner. I don't know, and it just sucks that, that I still got in trouble for even though I explained what had happened, I still got in trouble and sent to the corner and stuff. And there've been like other instances where that had happened, and I still got in trouble for it. So it's kind of like, what is this teaching you? That even if you're helping someone out and you're late, that you're gonna get in trouble. And that's kind of not really fair, and it's not a good thing to really be teaching anyone in there. And like if you fall behind in class, the teachers don't really help all that much. And I get it, there are a lot of kids that you gotta teach in the class, but there are so many that like need a lot more care and attention and just kind of fall behind. And in the end, I just kind of went to daydreaming and drawing things because I was constantly at the teacher's desk. I couldn't really read the board correctly, and I kept complaining about my eyesight, which, yes, I did need glasses, but I didn't get any. But that's a story in itself. And I remember one time we were outside playing sport, and I helped finish packing everything up, so I was a little bit slower walking back to class because I cleaned up the cones and stuff, which is what I always did. And the teacher grabbed me by my hair and started pulling me to make me faster and catch up to the other kids because I was too slow. And I'm sure this has probably happened to like other people as well, unfortunately. But it's just things like that I don't know. It's just things like that are teaching the wrong thing, I think. And I really do believe the education system needs to change, and I really do believe that the people who are teaching it need to kind of change their attitude towards children, because it's not right to, be physical to try and make someone walk faster, if that makes sense. But yeah, school life wasn't exactly the best time. Yeah, primary school, high school wasn't the greatest. Like, there are some good teachers who genuinely wanted to be teachers, so that's why they were actually good, because that's what they wanted to do. But I feel like the others who didn't want to be there, it showed. And that's like with anything, like, if you genuinely don't want to be there, it's going to show in your work. And there are cases, there was a case outside of like that when it comes to teaching, and like that it can be anywhere in like the workforce or something, where you just kind of have to learn quickly and just kind of pushed into that situation. Not all the time, I'm just generalizing. But more recently, which is kind of what turned me to the topic of this, was a particular thing of not really teaching me and telling me what I had to do, basically, or what I was doing wrong, basically, so that I could correct it. Because I like handed in a thing, and they didn't really tell me that there was anything wrong with it, so I just assumed that it was okay. But then when it came to like the core time of when I had to do something with that work, they were like, well, this isn't good, this is awful, this is terrible, what have you done? And I'm like, well, I didn't say it to them, but I was thinking in my head, if it was terrible and awful, how come no one said anything when I handed in months ago? And it's not something that's graded, it's like to do with me progressing in a particular like job and everything. If it was wrong, why didn't anyone tell me? Like, you could have just sent a simple email saying, hey, just kind of fix this and this, because that's not really what we're looking for. It needs to really be written this way, or like even just giving a template, because they had a template that they just kind of grabbed, that they had like a spare copy of, and I was like, well, why couldn't you have done that in the first place? Like, if it's just there and ready to grab for you guys, I can't reach in there and get it. There's a wall there. But I don't know. There's just these things that kind of made me think, if the people who are supposed to be teaching you are doing their jobs, and like even going into like university, you're kind of expected to know everything before they teach it to you, which is kind of impossible, because the whole point of them being there to teach you is so that you learn, and that they teach you the things, not that you already know them, and that they're just kind of there to give you work on it. That doesn't make any sense. Like, what am I paying you for? What am I paying for you to teach me if I'm supposed to already know these things? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And it might just because I have like problems, and yes, I'm like a little bit slow, and that's okay, but I don't know. It seems weird that you have to know something before you're taught it. Like, that makes no sense in my head. Like, yeah, there is like a thing of using your own initiative and going and researching things, but there is a difference between being taught, like, genuinely wanting to learn something, and using your initiative. Like, using your initiative is using it in something that you kind of already know and have been taught. And then you go, well, I've already done this, and like at this time we normally do this. I haven't been told to do it, but I think I should do it. Like, to me, that is the difference between that. And to me, I feel like if you're a teacher and I don't know something, it's better for you to like sit down and teach me, even if I come early, or even during class, if I don't know something, maybe somebody else doesn't know something, rather than going, well, it's in the notes, it's in the book, just read the book. Oh, I don't know how to do that question, you're gonna have to do that yourself and read it in the book. Well, if you don't know something, why are you teaching me this? Like, I appreciate the honesty, but is this someone I can go to for help? Can you direct me to someone who I can personally one-on-one talk to? Because, yeah, you can pay for a tutor and everything, but I do want the teachers to at least do something, if that makes sense. And I went to a particular school, a particular TAFE, actually. It wasn't like a high school or like a college or anything, and it wasn't government funded. And I think the reason that they actually cared and paid attention and taught me the things that I needed to know. And for some reason, to me, I feel like it not being a government-funded industry is the reason why they actually care. The people in there being paid to teach. But, like, if they don't teach, they don't get any money. So I guess they have to, like, pay attention to their job and, like, do it. Like, it sounds... I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, but in that particular TAFE, if you had a problem or a question, or you couldn't do, like, a math sum or something like that, there was something practical or written, or on the computer even, or something you didn't understand in the textbooks, you could sit down with the teachers, you could come in early, or you could stay after class, and they would help you. And they help you, like, regardless, or they would point you to someone who could help you if they had to go and teach another class, you know, later on that day, at like that school or another one. And to me, I felt like they genuinely wanted to help you and help you pass and help you get to where you wanted to be. They actually cared. They weren't teaching a crowd, they were teaching individuals. You weren't treated as a number or anything like that. You were treated as the person that you are. And to me, that was a lot better. They had smaller classes for that reason. And they cared and paid attention to the people who needed a bit more, like, one-on-one, I guess, teaching when it came to that stuff. And they might not have had the time for that, but they still did it anyway. And they still kind of helped out. But, like, in other places, like more public places that I've been to, they didn't really care. You were just kind of their paycheck, basically. And there are a lot of places that treat you as their paycheck. You're not really a person. You're just kind of there. You're their money, basically. And I think education is extremely important, but if these systems are failing, there needs to be a different way to do it. And if there are other systems that are working, why can't we use those systems that work and stop other people from falling behind? Because I get the public schools trying to use the majority and trying to make people, I don't even know, but I just feel like it does need to be changed, and I understand there are other education choices that are a lot better. But I'm hoping this is making sense, because I'm just rambling at this point. But in my experience and my time from the public schools, they were not fun, they were not nice, and they made me extremely, I don't know, like extremely introverted and quiet, and wouldn't say or do much, and wouldn't speak my mind. And if you wanted to go to the bathroom, it was the worst frickin' thing in the world, apparently. And that's not fair to be treated like that. It's not fair. And, like, there are other places who genuinely care and want to teach you stuff, and there is, like, a clear difference between those, and there is, like, clear signs of people who are severely struggling, getting severely depressed, anxiety is high, and, you know, if things are getting worse for people and they're struggling even more and more and getting more stressed, and the school regimes are getting more strict and everything, and the teachers, I guess, are getting more strict, that's not the greatest thing on a person. So I just thought I would share my thoughts with you, and I'm sorry this is, like, always unorganized, but I thought I would just kind of spew my thoughts and see if anyone else felt that way. I'm really sorry, I have a cold, so I've been, like, coughing in between this, I'm sorry. However, I hoped you enjoyed this video, and I'll keep making more and kind of sharing my opinion, because I don't know, you get to know me a little bit more, and I just kind of get to share what I think and what's in my head, and not everyone is gonna think that way, which is fine. But I feel like if I've had this happen to me, maybe somebody else has had this happen to them, or maybe somebody else thinks and feels this way as well. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I want you to go and sit on that like button. Click subscribe if you're not already subscribed. That would be awesome, and show your support and show me that you like what I'm doing. And hopefully I will see you in a wingspan.
Wink.